Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash. This is HeroQuest, and today is going to be a bit of a lower key, lower energy video as I present to you Giles McNeill's newest Sunday quest, Echoes of the Witch Lord. This is a 13-part HeroQuest adventure by Giles, and comes with 4 new artifact cards, one of which is tragically cut off by the Amazon KDP ISBN and QR code that has to be on the back. I'm sure we could see an edition where these things are slightly moved upwards, but the card, if you don't care about this outer border, can easily be snipped within. So I just thought it was really interesting and clever and creative to have the cards on the back cover that way, because Amazon's Kindle physical service, it doesn't use bad quality materials for the paper at all. So you can absolutely cut these free and then find a way to bind them together, perhaps sleeve them for additional security, and then you've got these 2 artifacts, which I will read the artifacts. The Lithocrux Soot. On the reverse of the label is an elven phrase, Dab idin o anui sarn plural cerni fen. If tossed on a stone doorway, this dark black powder that has a mystical magenta glint will open the door. This magical dust can only be used by the wizard. Discard after use. And Nadul Burzum. This is the magic ring Nadul Burzum. Once per quest, the wearer may ask the evil wizard player to set out the contents of one room anywhere on the board at once. If the chosen room is not in play, you may choose another. The hero loses 1 body point when they use the ring. A really cool artifact to have, and I would love to get through the intro and show you the first quest of Echoes of the Witch Lord. Since this is 13-part, I'll probably show you the first 2 quests, actually. And if you've been following Giles' work, or you're already a SundayQuest fan, enjoyer, player, you're not going to need this video to know that this is already a collection of high-quality quests that have all been vetted and test-played. Giles and his brother do a lot of work. They put in a lot of time to play their quests. They are the quintessential quest designers of HeroQuest, both classic and modern, because they've been doing this a while. And these quests, if you don't want to pay for the lovely physical edition of SundayQuest, which you absolutely should because it's worth it, you can't always access them for free. And that, my friends, I believe is the way to do it. That is the way of the brave hero. But the 13-part HeroQuest campaign, Echoes of the Witch Lord, includes a brand new quest book containing 12 exciting adventures for our heroes. That's different. 12 or 13. And Echoes of the Witch Lord continues where Wizards of Morcar left off. It is assumed the players will have completed and be familiar with Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord Against the Ogre Horde, and Wizards of Morcar expansion packs to the original game. Now, it's important to note that this is going to play off of the EU/UK rule set for HeroQuest, which the book won't really make any mention or reference to, and can absolutely be played using the US or contemporary global rule set, but it will be a lot more challenging that way because there are some monsters in the US/global contemporary that have more than 1 body point, and in the classic UK EU versions, which is this is modeled after, all of your monsters, pretty much all of them, are going to have 1 body point. So, they actually word that a lot better than I did right here. Which version of HeroQuest is this designed for? Echoes of the Witch Lord has been designed to fit in with the original UK release of HeroQuest in the late 1980s. It should be compatible with either the original European and US's. It can also be played with the more recent re-release of HeroQuest. If you're missing any item, you can find it on yoldin.com. Evil Wizard players are reminded that with so many homespun additions to the base game, it's impossible to foresee the consequence of every possible adaptation to HeroQuest's original rules and those provided in the addenda of the original expansion packs. You should use your own judgment to resolve issues. Another brave hero, wise wizard, big brain Chad statement. A quest to destroy SKULMAR, the scion of the Witch Lord. The player's primary aim in each quest is to survive and find their way to the next quest, thus ultimately finding and defeating SKULMAR, the Doomguard, the Legion of the Forgotten, and the Dead Host. The quest should be played as a continuous adventure. Echoes of the Witch Lord introduces a number of new elements to the HeroQuest game. What more stuff can we find here? The prologue, which I shall read, and if you don't like that, you can skip ahead. On the city of the Plains of Death. Why did I say city? I failed that in the first 2 seconds. On the Plains of Death, in the distance, the ruins of the once great city of Kalos, the seat of the Witch Lord, could be made out. 2 figures made their way north. Both men carried a number of weighty tomes, but little else. One was SKULMAR, the captain of the Forgotten Legion, and the other was Sir Ragnar, who you once rescued, but was corrupted by chaos. From the land of the dead, they made their way toward the Red Cloud Mountain. They traveled for days until reaching the Black Crag. They made their way beyond the World Edge Mountains. What became of them there, Lore Tome did not reveal. Sometime later, Sir Ragnar returned to the east and was captured and executed. It is likely that SKULMAR spent a considerable amount of time learning from the Witch Lord's most powerful spellbooks, his master's secrets, plotting ever to take revenge against the Empire's heroes. Many years have passed, but Lore Tome recently revealed to me that SKULMAR has journeyed into the cold and desolate northern chaos wastes to the Plain of Bones and taken up residence under the mountain Naltmalzar in the city of the dead, Varakankitot. I fear that it will not be long before you will have to confront SKULMAR. Now, a number of new features to the dungeon, expanding on the original HeroQuest game system and the original expansion packs. Multiple routes of adventure. In the original quest book, the adventures tended to stand alone except for the final 3 adventures that fitted together and related to the Witchlord storyline. Echoes of the Witchlord, we do have some typos here and there, introduces the option for characters to take different routes through the dungeon to complete the quest. This is achieved through the use of multiple exit and entry doors to adventures. Initially, characters will begin their quest at the same entry door or stairway, the starting point for the first adventure. As players progress through the quest book, they will potentially discover that an adventure has multiple exit doors. Players can choose to exit through any number of the exit doors. These will be numbered on the map of the dungeon, and each player should note on their character sheet which door they exited the adventure through. They should also note the exit door number that has been used by any of their men-at-arms, which implies that your characters can all leave through different doors, and you can send your different men-at-arms through different doors as well. Example, in the diagram to the left, the elf moves 3 spaces passing through the secret panel into the corridor and then through the exit door marked 1. Meanwhile, the dwarf moves 5 spaces passing through the doorway into the corridor and then through the exit door marked 2. In the forthcoming adventures, the dwarf and elf would only play those quests that relate to the exit door through which they exited. Interesting. So this takes the concept of splitting up your heroes to the extreme. It is quite possible for all characters and their men-at-arms to exit an adventure through the same door and remain a single band of heroes. The benefit to the players of this approach is their strength in numbers and wide range of abilities to help overcome the challenges of the dungeon. The disadvantage of this is that they pass up the opportunities that would otherwise have presented themselves in the adventures that they have passed on. Characters that have not exited a quest through the relevant door may not participate in a quest that they have not pursued. However, where multiple entry doors mean that characters and their men-at-arms are on the same board playing the same quest, it is possible for support to be undertaken in the usual way. So in this example, let's say this is the edge of the board. I'm willing to bet that if my hero exits through this door, my men-at-arms, half of them exit through this door, and the other half of my men-at-arms exit through this door. We're all going to end up on the same board, and we'll be able to come together as one unit again. And if the dwarf and wizard exit through this door, and the barbarian exit through this door, they'll be on the same board, but they will not be on the same board as me and my men-at-arms, me playing as the elf in this example. We have hurricane traps. Once a character passes the spot marked X, a hurricane will rush down from the end of the corridor marked with a trap symbol. All figures in this corridor will be forced to move back 8 spaces along the corridor or until they hit a wall or set off a trap, the X indicating the direction of travel from the symbol. Don't be fooled by the 5 in the corner, that's the page number and not part of the hurricane icon. Teleport traps. Any character who ends their move on a square marked with the symbol A will instantly be transported to the square marked with the symbol B elsewhere on the map. Landing on symbol B has no effect. Once a player's character has been transported, they are disoriented and their turn ends. There may be more than one symbol A on a map, but they all link to only one symbol B. I like the teleport mechanic very much. We've got the wandering monster trap. We have the clarification of the rules added in that explains passing items and mind points. We have rules updates for men-at-arms, wherein the halberd is a long polearm that may be used to attack diagonally for halberdiers. Body points. The men-at-arms had only 1 body point in the Wizards of Morcar expansion. This is not suitable for an adventure where they may wander off on their own. For that reason, they all now begin with a minimum of 2 body points, so that, the goblin can't kill them in 1 hit. Now the goblin will kill them in 2 hits. When a men-at-arms reaches 0 mind points, he's not dead, but has turned to chaos. The evil wizard player may play on with the men-at-arms under his control or exchange the piece for a zombie. Each player's men-at-arms may move and undertake their actions prior to or subsequent to the movement of a player's character. There are stone doorways in this, which were introduced in Against the Ogre Horde. And there are open doorways, which are marked with this symbol, a doorway with a cross through it. When a player opens the door to a room and discovers an open doorway symbol, the evil wizard player should also lay out the contents of the room with the open doorway, additional to the contents of the room that was opened. I like the symbol very, very much. And fire burst traps. When a character enters an empty room, Place a Fireburst token in the center of the room. This will remain in place until the beginning of the evil wizard player's turn, when it will explode, attacking any figures in the room with 3 combat die. It may only be disarmed with a Tempest spell. Alright, so we have the pretext of a journey to the north. We have playing the quests as a series, rules that relate to that, advice to the players. Carefully choose the equipment, spells, potions, and which men at arms they will each take with them into the dungeon. Bear in mind that the original expansion packs tended to isolate any new dungeon features added by any single expansion pack to the quests of that expansion pack, but Echoes of the Witchlord uses both the new dungeon features and also takes advantage from elements from all of the original expansion packs. So a quest may feature ogres and stone doorways, alongside a sorcerer and his spells from Wizards of Morcar, and there may be the Chaos Death Mist from Return of the Witchlord for good measure. And advice to the evil wizard player. The Chaos Sorcerer spells from against the Ogre Horde have the potential to be very useful in turning the player's own men-at-arms against them. The evil wizard player has at his disposal in Echoes of the Witchlord every element that has preceded in the original game system and 4 expansion packs. Notice that they're going to refer to the original 4 expansion packs because this is based on the EU and UK versions of the game system, not the US classic. So you're not going to see references to the Frozen Horror from the Barbarian expansion or the Barbarian Adventure pack. You're not going to see any reference to the Elf Quest pack or Mage of the Mirror. I like that one. Experienced players who have completed the original and expansion pack quest books may be overconfident when and if they adventure on into multiple routes of the dungeons separately. Yes, and I hope they are. Spells for the evil wizard players, 2 new quest artifacts, the Chaos Wastes. I believe we have AI art. It's a shame. I would rather not see any art at all than see AI art. That's my personal feeling. I know that's not going to be everybody's take, but for those of you for whom it matters. And we have a rather large quest which allows the characters to stroll about on a peaceful walk, saying hi, cheerio to all the skeletons in the streets. No harm, no fighting whatsoever, I'm sure. City of the Dead. For many days you have traveled into the northern Chaos Wastes, the cold, icy wind relentlessly blasting you. Here in this cold, harsh environment, you have arrived to the south of the Pillar of Skulls. That sounds like a lovely tourist spot. A tower built atop a high point, known as Nalt Malzog. It provides a watchful eye for SKULMAR over the domain of the undead. Lore Tome reveals that in the mountainside there is a gateway into the catacombs which will be your chance to make your advance undetected. I like it. I like it. There's a secret panel into a room that is particularly well hidden at quest note A. And by the way, I am going to be spoiling the contents of the first and second quests. I'm going to leave the rest of them to you, but I am going to look and see if there really are 12 or 13. I'll just do that now before I forget. Okay, there are 13, just to make that perfectly clear. There are 13 quests. I figured that was the case. There probably were originally 12, and then they created a 13th and forgot to update text in one of the spots that I just happened to read on camera, broadcasted. So, quest note A, right here, right in the room where there's a fire burst trap. In order to find it, a player's character must roll a black shield on a combat die, and each of the player's characters may only make 1 attempt. So this room contains a trapdoor that connects to the other via a tunnel. Oh, that's not a fire burst trap. That's a no. That is a fire burst trap. The symbol below it's the trapdoor. Any monster or player that lands on a trapdoor tile must immediately move to the other trapdoor square. Pretty much using the typical trapdoor rules, wherein your hero can be hurt going through. We have quest note B, wherein a treasure chest contains 150 gold coins. These skeletons have been raised to join SKULMAR's dead host. They have an extra die in defense. We're not worried about that. We'll still collapse them into piles of bones. D, this is the tomb of Zrobtath, a great general of the elite Doom Guard. He has the power to twist tongues, both with his name and with his presence. He was slain on the plain of bones nearby. Should the zombie and both skeletons not all be slain by the evil wizard's turn, they have succeeded in his resurrection. Place a Chaos Warrior adjacent to the tomb. Love little things like that in quests. And we will move on to the second quest. This is the Silent Undercroft. Ahead lies the Undercroft of Varokan Kitot, the City of the Dead. Its passageways will lead you to the crypt of the Witchlord. For the moment, however, you must make haste. You must continue your journey deeper into the mountain. The Undercroft is close to the mountain's edge. Tread carefully, for these halls are ancient and decayed. I need punctuation, or I will read the sentences as they appear. We have a chest containing 250 gold coins and a potion of healing. Very valuable, very valuable. B, These mummies have been raised to join SKULMAR's dead host. They have an extra die in both attack and defense. We do come in through the western door. We do have stairs to travel, a nice little spiral path. I like that a lot. We have a lot of falling rocks, so you have to be very careful navigating through here. We have stone doorways, and then we have long corridors, being very careful not to fall to our dooms. This passageway has a cliff ledge. It is a narrow, icy path. Any player who steps on, moves along, or steps off the tile must roll 3 combat dice. If they roll 2 black shields, they lose their footing and fall down the mountain. They are not dead necessarily, but may take no further part in these quests. As good as dead, perhaps kept alive for a separate campaign. D is a very useful quest note in this one. If the Spirit Blade is not held by any player, then it can be found in this tomb. If a hero already has the Spirit Blade, then the tomb is empty. There is only one Spirit Blade forever, which makes sense. So I'm going to look through, and I'm just going to pick a quest at random now, and I'll tell you which one that is before I reveal the contents. I know I said I was only going to spoil 2, but there was one in here that caught my eye while I was going through, and I just wanted to talk about... Yeah, here it is. So this is going to be quest 10? Quest 11. Quest list pretty late, but I'm not going to show you the quest notes to it. I'm just going to show you the map. And it is Rise of the Forgotten Legion. And when I saw that central room full of monsters, undead, I knew it had to be the Forgotten Legion. Yeah, I like that. It looks very much like they're encased in ice again. You can't search for traps or panels. And then, of course, when you try to leave the room, as always, they're going to all melt. And the ice will melt and the Forgotten Legion will be again on the board, even if you completely destroyed them in the past. It'd be really cool if there was a sort of link to that quest where if your heroes had played Return of the Witch Lord and you completely crush the Forgotten Legion, because sometimes you can be prepared enough to just destroy them all, because you don't really want a large party of enemies crawling through the dungeons following your every move, attacking you every turn, joining the forces of new monsters into rooms that you explore. You want them to all be gone. So I think it should be that if you crush them completely, and if record was made of that happening, that in this instance, their forces should be weakened. But perhaps that is canon to this, and their forces are replenished due to another event. I mean, the Forgotten Legion, it should be more than 24. I don't know, that's a pretty big number in HeroQuest terms. Anyways, that is my overview of Sunday quests. Echoes of the Witch Lord. It is always a huge joy to get Sunday quests in the mail, and despite all of the quest books on Amazon that kind of take and steal things from here and there, the one guy's quest books, the dungeon quest books, and the ones that kind of riff on The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings come to mind, those are all pretty unauthorized. I feel like they're sketchy. I feel like they take advantage of things, and they're there to earn the author a profit. And the author might say things like, you know, I just wanted to share these wonderful quests. And there are some good ideas in there, don't get me wrong, but I think they are very much there for that profit. This one pays a lot of respect to the IP by, first of all, having been recognized by the official IP and asked to take off the original HeroQuest name, lucky enough to have the first 2 volumes of the Sunday Quest adventures when they were published by Lulu with the HeroQuest branding. And that, of course, was honored by the author who changed to Sunday Quest. Hasn't had a problem since. It's been Sunday Quest ever since, and we've continued to get Sunday Quests. So I feel like no matter what happened behind the scenes there, this does what it's supposed to do in order to be able to continue delivering to us quests every Sunday and collections of quests every so many Sundays, so that we can have more campaign books to add to our classic HeroQuest collections, because that's where all my Sunday Quest books go. They go into my classic box. They don't go with my contemporary box. I like playing them with the classic edition of HeroQuest. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks very much to Giles for sending me this gift. I hope that I did it justice with its presentation, and I look forward to attempting the dire trials of Echoes of the Witch Lord sometime with my party when they finally complete Return of the Witch Lord. We'll see. Until next time, brave heroes, please comment what you would be looking forward to seeing. The Witch Lord has taken my mouth today, my ability to speak. Every other word is a flub, and I will do my best to be reviewing that on the channel. Do you have a favorite Sunday Quest collection? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Until then, bye for now.